Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Chem 170 with your host, me, Dr. White. Hi, everybody. Welcome to fall semester 2024. Boy, where is this year gone? All right. This is Chem 170 Organic Chemistry from Elgin Community College. As you can see, I'm coming from my home office, and it's organic chemistry. All right, where to start? First of all, I should tell you, I'm an organic chemist. Yes, I have my PhD in synthetic organic chemistry. And for many decades, yes, decades, I was a senior research and development manager at a couple of different international chemical companies. And while I was working there, I have 10 US patents, chemical patents. All right, about 2001, the chemical industry left Chicagoland, left a lot of the United States, jobs like I had, and I started teaching, and I've been teaching since then. All right, and I've taught Chem 170, well, a lot of times. Now, a couple things. First of all, this semester, when you watch the videos and tonight, you'll learn a lot about me personally. And the first thing I should tell you is my hearing isn't that good. It's hereditary. But anyways, if we were face to face, I'd have my hearing aids on. Hold on a second. There we go. I would have my hearing aids on, but I don't have them on because right up above, I have two really big amplified speakers. But if you ask a question, especially if you come to my Zoom office hour, I might ask you to repeat it. If you talk softly, talk with a heavy accent, or talk softly with a heavy accent, I might ask you to repeat it once or twice if you have a question or you're talking to me. And that's my problem, not yours, but please help me out. All right, probably the most important thing I will talk about tonight is this. In my class, in my world, there's no such thing as a dumb question. I'll say it again. In my class or course, in my world, there's no such thing as a dumb question. I learned that I think it was my second or third year in grad school at Michigan State from a postdoctoral fellow we had, Dr. Palavin. There's no such thing as a dumb question. And so always feel free to ask questions. I may not know the answer, but if it's organic chemistry, if I don't know it, I'll find the answer. All right, let's go through some things. First of all, let me open up something which I didn't do. All right, the college computer system is called Desire to Learn, and we use the acronym D2L for short for Desire to Learn. And I have my Chem 170 there. In my syllabus, I have how to find the website and the web page for D2L. And once you log in, you can, one of your courses, if you're taking more than one, will become 170. And here we have the front page. And you know something? I am going to go to student view. So you're going to see it just like if I was a student. All right, we're in student view now. Notice I have announcements on the front page, and on the left side, I have my office hours, which are Monday and Wednesdays from 6:30 to 7:30 on Zoom. And here's how to get to them. Also, here's my email. Down here, we have a calendar, and here we have some announcements. Now, if you look at the top, we have different things here. And probably the most important area for you, first of all, is content. And if I click on that, you'll see on the left a table of contents. And the first one is my syllabus. And here I have the syllabus both as a Word document and a PDF file. And we'll be going through that in a little while. I also have here what I call the signature sheet, both as a Word document and a PDF file. In case you forget, here's the login for the Zoom meetings. Now, this is an asynchronous course, which means you'll be watching videos. And in the videos, I have slides. And if we go to lectures, click on lectures right here, you'll see all the documents for the slides. For chapter 2, alkanes, I have both as a Word and PDF. And this goes through all the chapters. Now, one thing, D2L is a very old software. At the other school I teach at, College of DuPage, we use another software, which is a little better, but they're both get the job done. And the reason I say this is old is, if you notice the very bottom, it has chapter 11 and 13, amines, amides, and heterocyclic compounds. And then it says load more. And this shows you how old it is, because to see some more stuff in this folder, you have to click on load more. And now you see the rest of the stuff that's there. So remember, excuse me, that when you scroll to the bottom of a page in D2L, look and see if there's a button that says load more. Now, these are all the files that are my slides and the videos. Now, I also have, here's the link to my YouTube channel. Yes, I'm a YouTube star, not really, but more important, and it's also in the syllabus, here are 2 files that are the schedule for the videos you will be watching this semester. And here it gives you an example. Week 1, the first video, here's the URL. You just cut and paste. Here's the week, its title, and what modules, if you follow the modules, there are. Now, I also have something very important in here. And again, we're in the content area of D2L. And I should mention that what we're doing now, and let me check, yes, I'm recording this. I will post later tonight or tomorrow morning my YouTube channel, and I will send out a email with the URL for this video that I'll make from tonight's meeting. All right, now, if you notice, I have practice problems. And for set 1, the alkanes problem set, both as a PDF and a Word document, then later on, alkenes, alkynes, and so on. And in another folder, I have the answers to those problem sets. Don't tell anybody, but after test 1, you'll understand why I call them practice problems. Hint, hint, I'll talk more about it. But after test 1, you'll understand why I call those practice problems. Now, I'm required for asynchronous and even synchronous classes to have what's called these modules. I really don't talk about them, but you'll see what's in the module is what I cover in the videos. And this gives you an idea, if you're interested, of what you should be, objectives, the overview, outcomes, and the presentation, and your activities. And these are there, but the syllabus has the same thing, what videos and what practice problems you should be doing. Now, one of the things you'll be doing in my class is submitting lab reports. Relax, mine aren't that hard to do. I'm not one of those, you got to do a 30-page lab report. Boy, what a waste of time that is. No, mine are short and easy to do. 15 minutes to 30 minutes, you're done. All right, but that and your test will be online. You will have to create a PDF file and upload it to the assignment area of Blackboard. Uh-oh, I'm going to do this a lot during the semester in my videos too. Blackboard is that COD, we're on D2L. I meant D2L. And in here, I have instructions how you do that. Now, listen carefully. If you do not have a printer for the lab questions and stuff you have to answer, you can just write it out and up on a piece of blank paper and upload that. Same thing with the test and my final. All you have to do is put the question number and your answer if you don't have a printer. Now, if you don't have a scanner, but I think all of you have a cell phone with a camera, there's a really good app called Cam Scammer, which I have files here. And this is a really good app. My students have been using this. Those who don't have scanners at home, I do, but you may not, or access to it. And this allows you to take your cell phone, take a picture of your answers, and convert it into a PDF file that you can upload. Now, Cam Scammer is a free app, but they try and sell you, let's get the fancier one, give us your money. You don't need it. You don't need all the bells and whistles. None of my students have ever needed it. Just a basic free Cam Scammer will work. And if you notice, I've got a little gray hair, a little. Well, anyways, I still have hair. And a couple of years ago, I realized a lot of my students didn't know the good things in life. So I have here my favorite music, movies, and books. And if you're interested, you can take a look. By the way, my claim to fame in life is I saw Jimi Hendrix live, the only time he played in Chicago. And I saw the Moody Blues play a number of times too in Chicago. And the Jefferson Airplane and Jeff Beck and the Iron Butterfly, to say a few, and Gibson and Camp. If you don't know good music, take a look at this list. There's some good bands on there. Here's some of my favorite movies. Most of you have never heard of Blazing Saddles and probably never heard of Duck Soup. Those are two of the probably funniest movies you'll ever see in your life. And some good books to read. If you notice, I like science fiction. All right, let's continue on. Up on the top, you'll see the assignment area. And if you click on that, you will see assignments. Oh, look, you already have two. And I'll talk about it. And this allows you to download the PDF file or the Word document and read it and answer questions, or in the case of the signature sheet, fill it out. And afterward, let's click on lab melting points. I'll show you something. Tells you when it's due, and I'll talk more about it. And here you add a file, and then you'll click on submit. And that's how you'll be turning in your lab reports. And assignment area, I will be putting the test, excuse me, and the final, and you'll download that, fill it out, and upload it as a PDF file. And again, if you don't have a printer, you can write it on regular paper, blank paper, and then upload it if you have a scanner, or use an app like Cam Scammer. And that's the important stuff in D2L, and I got it right that way. All right. One of the important things is my syllabus, which is available for you to download from D2L. I'd like to go through it, but oh my goodness, I almost forgot something very important. Do not write this down. This is propane, and it has the chemical structure CH3, CH2, CH3. 3 carbons, 8 hydrogens, and this is the structure. And in organic chemistry, we use this type of structure as opposed to empirical formula, just the number of carbons and hydrogens. And you'll learn more about that this semester. But for now, don't write this down, but this is propane, CH3, CH2, CH3. That's the stuff in the white tanks that you use for your barbecue. That's organic chemistry. All right, let's take a look at the syllabus. Unfortunately, this isn't the most exciting thing to do, but it's important. All right. The syllabus you can find on D2L, and I have my start date. I have the lecture and labs, which will be on my YouTube channel. And here's my office hour again. Here's the login for the Zoom meeting. Our office hours are in 6:30 to 7:30 on Monday and Wednesday. Now, if you really need help, and say you're working Mondays and Wednesdays from that time, contact me. And the good thing is, since I have a Zoom account, I can set up a Zoom meeting when you and I are available. And I've done that in the past with many students. If you need help, I will help you. All right, now, what's the best way to reach me? You look up here, it has my email address and this office phone number. That's really a voicemail box. I'm trying to think, when was the last time I checked it? I want to say somewhere around 2015. It's been that long. I don't check it. The best way to reach me is by email, kwhite@elgin.edu. I check my email at least twice a day, every day, Saturday and Sunday included, obviously, every day. Now, my twice a day, I don't need a lot of sleep. I haven't all my life. So usually I check it about 6:30 in the morning and later in the afternoon or evening. But if you need to reach me, use email. All right, now I'm required, as all faculty are at ECC, to have course requirements, which I'm going to skip now, and course description, the outcomes. Now, I'm going to be having YouTube video lectures. And you saw the list, it's in the syllabus. And what I expect you to do is watch them. It's the same as coming to a lecture. Back when I made those videos, and actually I did a lot more, we were teaching Chem 170 synchronous with actual videos, live Zoom meetings students were supposed to show up to. But because of COVID, a lot of the students taking Chem 170 either worked in a hospital, worked in a pharmacy or nursing home, or some other type of work where if a colleague came down with COVID, they would have to cover that colleague's shift. And they couldn't make it to my live Zoom meetings. So I started recording them and I put them in my YouTube channel. And after a while, very few people showed up, which is okay because they did well. And I realized about 2 years ago, why don't I just take it asynchronous? And the students who have taken in the last 2 years get the same high grades, and I'll talk about that in a little while, that my students got live or even back before COVID face-to-face. But before I go on, this is propane. propane is CH3, CH2, CH3. And that's the gas you use for your barbecue. Or if you work in construction sites in the winter, when they have those localized heaters that burn propane also for the heat. I'm doing an experiment with you, and later on, I'll tell you what I was doing. Dr. White can be sneaky. All right, so you'll be watching videos that are the same as coming to my lectures if we were face-to-face. Now, I want to emphasize it's important you watch these and you keep on schedule, because you're not going to binge watch my videos and do good on the test. You're not. But I have it laid out that it's a nice pace and students do well. But you have to watch these videos. We don't have to, but if you want to get a good grade, you do. Now, here's some more important things I'm supposed to be, I put in there, academic integrity. All faculty are asked to put this in. Behavior, since this was more for face-to-face. Here's more stuff about emergency crossing, closings, miscellaneous. All right, this is something very important. Do not now raise your hand or say, that's me. See me in private. If you are a special needs student, I will work with you to meet your special needs. Over the years, I've had many special needs students, and they've all done well. And I've always supported the special needs office and my special needs students. So if you're a special needs student, I believe I have one this semester, at least one, see me in private, and I will work with you to meet your special needs. All right, here's more stuff that all faculty are required to put in there. You can read this at your leisure. All right, let's get to the important stuff. First of all, there's going to be 4 tests. Each test is 1 hour, quote unquote. If it was face-to-face, you'd have 1 hour. But what you'll be doing is, I have it set up on test 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're all on a Thursday. Thursday morning at 8 a.m. or earlier, I will send out a email with the password to open the password protected PDF file for that test, say test number 1. You will download it, and you will have until Friday, 8 p.m. to take test number 1 and upload your answers as a single PDF file to the assignment area D2L. Now, normally a student would take 1 hour, but you're at home. If you need more than an hour, go right ahead, as long as you get it uploaded by the deadline. Now, one thing I should tell you is I put some things in my tests that tell me if a student is cheating. Please don't, because it's easy for me to catch students who do. All right. Also, there'll be a final exam, 2-hour comprehensive, on Monday, December 12th. And it'll be the same thing. That Monday at 8 a.m. or earlier, I will send out a password. And by Tuesday, 8 p.m., you should have uploaded your answers for the final exam. I'll have an extra credit project. And if there's some extreme emergency, I do allow makeups, but I have to have some documentation about that extreme emergency. Water break. All right, let's talk about how you get a grade in my class. You're going to have 4 tests. I will pick the 3 highest tests, and that will sum them up. You'll have your final exam, and then I'll talk a little later laboratory reports. And each test is 100 points. The final is 200 points. The total number of lab reports will be worth 132 points. That adds up to 630. Let me make it larger so you can see it. You will get a percentage, or I'll calculate it, which is the sum of the 3 highest test scores, points, your final exam points, your lab total points, and then the extra credit project, which will be extra points, and multiply it by 100, divide by 632. I'll get a percentage. If your percentage is 90 and above, you get an A. 80, 89, B, 70, 79, C, 60, 69, D, less than 60, F. I should tell you that I've been teaching Chem 170 at ECC since, I think, 2007. Wow. And historically, 65, listen carefully, 65 to 70% of the class earn A's. Yep, that good in my class. And the rest usually get B's. Once in a while, some people get D's and F's. I should tell you, I'm a very selfish person in one way. I like good things to happen around me that make me feel good. And one thing that makes me feel good is to see students succeed in my class. My furthest dream is to have a class where everybody earns an A. And I've come close a couple of times. Last semester, class, all but 2 students earned A's. Those students earned B's. And if I hadn't helped them out, they probably would have flunked in another instructor's course of 170. So it's my method in grading. Students do well if they listen to the advice I'll be giving you. Now, before we go on, it's time to talk about propane. Propane is CH3, CH2, CH3, 3 carbons, 8 hydrogens. And that's the material you use for your barbecue. Now, withdrawal, it's not my responsibility. You have to go through the registration center. If you stop taking putting in labs, taking tests, and don't take the final, that's not dropping my course. I will assign a grade. There's the midterm and the last day to drop. I should tell you, I rarely, and I mean rarely, have students drop, because my students do well if they follow my advice. I hope you do too. And usually someone drops A if they get a job outside the area when we were face to face, or on a couple occasions, I have students who are pregnant and their pregnancy interferes with taking my class. They come back and take it again afterward. And I do give incompletes if there's some sort of emergency. Let's face it, life happens. Now, if you look on your screen, here's the tentative course outline for this semester. And I keep to it pretty much. And here are the different chapters, and really the more important things, topics I will be covering or expect you to learn for each week. And here, over here, are the modules, if you'd like to look at those to see what you should be doing and what outcomes. I also have when the tests are, oops, I've made a mistake here. I thought I got this corrected. These two should be, I'll have to recorrect this, sorry, Thursday, and the review will be on Tuesdays. I'll have to change that. I thought I got everything. Well, every once in a while, and this should be, whoa, 12, I'm pretty sure. In case you don't know, Dr. White doesn't walk on water unless it's frozen. And even then, I stay off. In other words, I make mistakes. But all tests will be on Thursday, and I'll do a review live on Zoom on Tuesday. So if you have questions, you can come. If you can't make it, I'll be videotaping those. And like I said, the learning modules are in D2L. You saw that. Now, here's the video schedule. Please keep on track. And if we go to my YouTube channel, and you can see there's that great YouTube star, me. And here are last semester's reviews, but if you scroll down, the semester I'm using for the videos is this one. And if you scroll down even further, you can see earlier semesters. If you scroll down even further, you see I'll get there eventually. If you look at 2021, I'm wearing glasses, no glasses, because about 2 years ago, I had cataract surgery. If anybody needs a great eye surgeon, Dr. Cabin in Hoffman Estates is fantastic. In fact, tomorrow morning, I have my annual checkup with him, and he did both eyes, wonderful job. And because of that, I no longer need glasses. But you'll see here the different videos you should be watching. And I have those in a list. I have other semesters, and you can see how consistent I am. Quite, you'll find out. All right, let's talk about labs. The way I did this is to keep it fully asynchronous. When I inherited Chem 170, but before I do that, time out for propane. Remember, propane is CH3, CH2, CH3, propane. And that's an organic molecule. It's got 3 carbons and 8 hydrogens. Now, when I inherited or took over Chem 170, the person who was teaching it was not an organic chemist, was a chemist. And one of the problems with Chem 170 and a lot of the other labs taught at ECC, other schools, they're 2 hours and 50 minutes is the lab. At ECC, it's 1 hour and 50 minutes. So that means most of the commercial lab books you can't use. And the labs that I inherited were, how should I say this politely, awful, really bad. And I challenged myself to create new labs for Chem 170 when we were face to face. Well, when we went to Zoom for COVID, I took those labs and I just put in the data you would. Most of it's just mixing chemicals and observing. And what you'll do is watch the videos and learn about the same topic like we were face to face. The only difference is you just won't be mixing things, but you'll have to interpret the data. And that way you have the same mental exercise as if you were doing face-to-face lab. And each lab is 11 points. And if the labs are late, you'll lose 2 points. If they're real late, you get 0 points. Please try not to do that. Now, here's the lab schedule. This week and next week, we won't have a lab. I actually have already put up the melting point, and I'll have to change the due date on that because I think I have the wrong one. And these will be the ones. And notice the labs can be found the actual lab and the assignment area D2L. And it's time once again for propane. Propane. Oh, let's go to a different color. How about red? Propane, CH3, CH2, CH3. Propane. Now, one of the things that a lot of faculty use at ECC, I learned about this my first semester at ECC, is they have an agreement that you need to sign. And here's the agreement in your syllabus, but in the assignment area, you will see this that you can download either as a Word document or PDF. And this is one you got to print out. If you need printers, you can always go to ECC. And just about every local library has a printer you can use. And fill it out. And I print your name there, have read the syllabus thoroughly and understand the policies for this class. And you understand it's your responsibility to abide by these policies. And you understand that failure to abide by these policies will result in the consequences outlined in the syllabus. I need this filled out with a signature here, not electronic, and a date, and uploaded to the assignment area before test number 1, or I won't let you take it. So this is just a contract between me and you. And that's my syllabus, which is not the most exciting thing, but throughout the semester, if you have any questions, remember there's no such thing as a dumb question in my class. Now, how many of you have heard organic chemistry is really hard and icky? That's scientific icky. Give me a thumbs up for those of you who are here if you've heard bad things about organic chemistry. Well, I see some people are being honest and saying, and yep, well, guess what? It's not true. But then again, I'm biased. I'm an organic chemist. Organic chemistry is fun. Yes, fun. And this semester, you'll find out it's fun. Now, a couple things. First of all, in order to succeed in my class, you need to watch the videos. The other thing is you need to do the practice problems. When you watch the videos, you'll see me doing problems. You'll say, oh, that's looked at art. But let me explain, teach you something, how to succeed in my class. In order to do that, I'm going to have to talk about bicycles. Bicycles? Yep, bicycles. Let's assume you don't know how to ride a bicycle. And being the nice person I am, which I am, I give you the best Blu-ray ever written on how to ride or ever made how to ride a bicycle. And you've got a big 75-inch or 85-inch high-def TV and a real good Blu-ray player. And you watch that Blu-ray, how to ride a bicycle, over and over again for the next month. Slow motion, frame by frame, so you know that by heart. What's going to happen the first time you get on a bicycle that you don't know how to ride, even after watching the Blu-ray? Whoop, you're going to fall off. And then you'll practice and get good at it. Organic chemistry is the same way. Just like the Blu-ray, you can watch me do the problems, do other things that you'll be tested on. But if you don't do the practice problems, you're probably going to fall off right on the test, and that won't be pleasant. Remember, it makes me happy to see students succeed. So do the practice problems. Now, most of you, now I'm going to do a generation gap. How many of you are old enough to remember 1995? Raise your hand. But anyways, back then, who was the best player in the National Basketball Association? And that was Michael Jordan of the Bulls, Chicago Bulls. And if you watched the news, sports on the nightly news, or picked up a newspaper every once in a while in the sports section, a newspaper on the news and their sports report, you'd see a report. And it was about Michael Jordan. And essentially went Michael Jordan, first one on the practice court, last one always off the practice court. Now, why would the best player in the NBA have to practice all the time, more than anybody else? Because that kept them the best. Practice helps you succeed and win. And with that, you need to do the practice problems. And again, after test one, you'll understand, hint, hint, why I call them practice problems. Now, once again, propane. Propane is CH3, CH2, CH3. And that's a small organic molecule, but an important one. Propane, CH3, CH2, CH3. All right, one of the things I've been teaching for a long time now, and years ago, I had a student, and actually at that time I was teaching that semester, Chem 112 at ECC, who I found out had a very bad case of test anxiety. She could come in, am I doing my practice problems right? Yes. And the first test, I thought, this is going to be my A student, and she barely got a D. What's going on? And I found out she had test anxiety. And one of the gifts I have is in an emergency under very tough situations, I'm a good problem solver, very good. I've done that in the chemical industry, and I did this for this student. And I came up with a method that eliminates test anxiety. If you get nervous during a test, this method eliminates it. And over the years, I've had students who've been doing bad on tests. They learned that method. All of a sudden, they're getting B's and A's. You still have to study, but this entirely eliminates test anxiety once you learn how to do the method. It's not that hard. Now, I've created a video for that, and later this week or next week, I'll send out an email with the URL because I have it as a private video on one of my YouTube channels. I actually have 4 of them. Yep, 4 YouTube channels. See, I told you I'm a YouTube star, not really. But anyways, and I'll do that. And once again, it's propane. Propane is CH3, CH2, CH3. And I can even do it in black again. Propane, CH3, CH2, CH3. Propane. And that's the gas you use for your barbecue. I'm looking at my list of things to do tonight. All right, couple things. Let me reinforce again. You are not going to learn organic chemistry the night before a test. You won't. I couldn't, and I'm an organic chemist. I'm sure you won't. Keep up. Watch the videos. Watch, do the practice problems. And if you need help, reach out to me, because remember, there's no such thing as a dumb question. Now, one of the questions is, Why learn organic chemistry? Good question. But before I answer that, I'm going to ask a question of you. How many of you are here because you plan to have an advanced career in organic chemistry and become an organic chemist? Raise your hand or give me a thumbs up. Just me. How many of you are here because you have an undying love for organic chemistry? Raise your hand or give me a thumbs up. I guess I'm the only one. How many of you are here because someone told you you had to take an organic chemistry class, Chem 170, to get into a program like nursing or other things, or go to a certain school to get into that school, like nursing school? Give me a thumbs up if you were told you had to take organic chemistry. Now you know that I know, I already knew it, but now you know I know it, that I'm not going to convert you into organic chemistry, a chemist. But in this semester in Chem 170, you'll learn about my world of organic chemistry, which is really your world of organic chemistry, but you don't know about it. Now, why learn organic chemistry? Good question. But before we do that, guess what time it is? And yes, when I'm face to face, I do the same thing. Propane. Propane. Is CH3, CH2, CH3. And that's an organic molecule, and that's used for your barbecue. That's what you burn to make the heat to cook the things on your barbecue. Now I'm making myself hungry. Anyways, that's propane. Oh, I should warn you, I have a sense of humor and I use it. Sometimes I have good humor days and sometimes, well, not too good humor days. And we all just have to suffer through it. You'll see that on the videos. But anyways, why learn organic chemistry? Let's think about it. Well, my skin is made up of organic molecules. That's organic chemistry. So it's what's left of my hair. Now, all the food you eat, they have proteins in it. That's organic chemistry. Fats and oils, organic chemistry. Carbohydrates, organic chemistry. If you like French fries, pizza, or a good hamburger, that's all organic chemistry. Really? Yep. And you'll learn about that this semester. Let's continue on. Wait, the cotton in my shirt, that's organic chemistry. This water bottle, that's organic chemistry. The plastic of my hard drives, I do a lot of computer stuff, that's organic. My Bluetooth phone there, the plastic and other things in there, that's organic chemistry. So let's see. Why should we learn organic chemistry? Your body's organic chemistry. The food you eat is organic chemistry. The clothes, most of what you wear is organic chemistry or organic molecules. So isn't it obvious why you need to learn organic chemistry? Because someone told you needed this class and you want to get a good grade so you can get into a program or a school. I know that. Now you know I know that. However, if you got a good grade in my class, you will get what I want. You'll learn organic chemistry. And that's the important thing. And the good news is your instructor, me, Dr. White, has many decades of experience in the real world of organic chemistry. One of the areas I worked at a company that made the molecules that are used in fabric softeners. Another company, I made the molecules, I was responsible for research for molecules that hold sand together to make the molds for car engines. By the way, I've been to the Saginaw GM foundry and the, it's right across from Detroit. I can't think of the name right now. Windsor Ford foundry, where they were using molecules I invented. They invited me there. It was quite an interesting experience. You'll learn about it in one of the videos. And other areas of chemistry, organic chemistry in the industrial world, the real world, I've worked at, and you'll learn more about that in the videos. So let's do one more time. Propane, CH3. Let me write it out. Propane, CH3, CH2, CH3. Propane, that's the stuff that you use in your barbecue. Now, why have I obnoxiously been saying propane? CH3, CH2, CH3. Everybody, if you're not driving or operating heavy equipment, close your eyes. Can you see the structure of propane? Give me a thumbs up if you can. Can you picture it? I see some of you can. A number of you can. All right, there's a reason I did that. In this semester, organic chemistry, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it, there's a lot of memorization. Now, you could use flashcards. They never worked for me, and most of my students, they don't work. Somehow, I don't know how I found out that when you write something down and say it 5 times, sometimes maybe 1 or 2 more or less, it burns it into your brain really good. You memorize it. And what I did tonight was obnoxiously more than 5 times show you propane, CH3, CH2, CH3. And this is a structure you need to learn. And there are other ones. And how do you do that? You write it down and say it 5 times. If you're in the library, say it silently in your mind. I'll give you another one. Methane is CH4. And that's the natural gas you use to cook with. And if we write down methane and CH4, say it and write it, that's 2. Methane, CH4, that's 3. That's 4. And that's 5. And methane, CH4, that's natural gas. And if you do this on your own, you'll memorize that. Now, you see on here, there's a file that's in the lecture section of D2L called alkanes, IUPAC names and numbers of carbons, atoms. And you need to memorize this as soon as possible. If you don't know this chart, methane 1 carbon, propane 3 carbons, butane 4, octane 8, decane 10, you've just lost about 45, 50 points in test 1, about 35 points in test 2 and 3, and about 40 points on the final exam. So how do you memorize it? Write down methane and then the number 1, and do that 5 times and so on. Another chart, and this is in the videos, and you'll see this, I'll be talking about it. Let me open it first. are the key alkyl groups on this chart, which is named key alkyl groups in the lecture section of D2L. And a CH3 attached something is called the methyl group, and so on. Now, the first couple of videos, I'll be working with you to help you learn this. And if you don't know this table by test number 1, again, you've lost 50 points out of 100. So these are 2 you have to learn by test 1. And I would get started on that. Once you watch the video for this week, the videos, you'll be able to see those tables and how they work, and you'll be learning about it. So this will be an exciting semester. I shall tell you that since I've gone asynchronous, just having students watch the videos, they've gotten the same results when I've taught this face-to-face, which are very high. One thing I should mention, I teach by my golden rule of teaching. And that is, I don't do to my students what I didn't like done to me. Yes, I was a student a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, but I still remember those days, and I don't do what I didn't like to my students. Never. Remember, there's no such thing as a dumb question. Now, one thing I've neglected to mention, and let me grab something, is the textbook. And this is by Hart and others. When I was at Michigan State, a grad student, Harold Hart, I don't know if he's still alive, was a very famous professor, not because of his book, but because of the research he was doing in organic chemistry. He also was making a lot of money from his book. I think back then it was the 4th or 5th edition. Yep, that was a long time ago. You don't need it. Students don't need it. Go to ratemyprofessor.com, scroll down, you'll see that. My videos, and if we were face-to-face, my lectures, plus my practice problems help you learn organic chemistry. And if you scroll down, I know one and maybe more than one, I've had students over the years who've taken the same class at other schools and flunked it once, one student even twice. And that one student, when she took it with me, got an A. That was face-to-face. Another one was on Zoom like this, and they both succeeded. But to succeed, you have to watch the videos and you have to do the practice problems. And I want each and every one of you to succeed. I will do everything I can to help you get the best grade you're willing to work for. Again, I'll do everything I can to help you get the best grade you're willing to work for. And if you're willing to put in the work and you still have problems, come to my office hours, email me, or if you can't come to my office hours, reach out to me by email, and we'll see if when we can set up a private Zoom meeting so I can help you. Because I want every student to do well. But you have to learn this on your own, because I'm not going to take the test for you. Surprise. And with that, I'm done for the day, other than saying one thing. Back when COVID hit, and it was really scary out there, I was reminded of something my grandmother, my mother's mother, Grandma Greenman, used to say when we were leaving. I'm Jewish, and Yiddish is a mixture of Hebrew and German. And whenever we'd leave, by the way, Grandma Greenman was probably the finest person I've ever known in my life. Strong, amazing woman, great woman. And when we would leave, she'd always say, "Gang gesund." And gang gesund is go in health. And I picked that up and I've been doing it ever since. So with that, I'm going to say gang gesund, go in health. I'm going to say goodbye in a second or two. And if you want to stick around afterward, I'll shut off the recording. And if you have questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. So with that, I'll say gang gesund. and also say goodbye. And I stole that from Granny of the Beverly Hillbillies, which was a famous show when I was in high school in the 60s. And she'd always end going like this, goodbye. So with that, I'll say, gang gesund, goodbye.